Boom! And welcome back to the Culture Crusade. We have a question hanging in the air because there might have been technical difficulties, and I do not know if we are live on YouTube.
We are live on YouTube. I just checked.
We are live on YouTube. Oh, it's working. Thank goodness.
Live.
It's live. It was doing something weird, so now it's not doing something weird, and we're good to go. All right, so we are back. We missed a week. Sorry, last week. Unfortunately, I had what's called a crash, where it's like with chronic fatigue, you have this weird thing called a post-exertional malaise, and then the underlying issue is that your body's energy regulation system is broken. And so your body doesn't actually tell you when you've reached your limit and you can push yourself too far, but then it doesn't really register.
It was the Mormonism debate, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't that. That fuels me, Mike. That gives me energy. No, I was doing something. Oh, no, it was filming. It was actually YouTube filming. I was outside. We filmed like 8 videos, and I pushed myself pretty hard to get that done. And I pushed myself way too far, and my body doesn't tell me slow down. And it's this weird empty feeling in your eye. It's weird, right? And then what happens is you get a post-exertional malaise where for 1 or 2 days, or even like sometimes a week, you're fine. And then suddenly you have this massive crash where I couldn't get out of bed. And that's happened last week, and I was just like, "Holy crap, I can't move that!" And we had to postpone the live stream, unfortunately. But we're back.
You know, my daughter's actually going through that right now because for 44 hours she was in labor and gave birth to my second grandchild yesterday.
Congratulations! That is awesome.
I should be there at the hospital visiting now, but Shad made me come here.
Yeah, I have like a shock collar on Mike, where I just like
Hassan style.
I hear they're very effective. Just full electrocution for obedience. It's like, okay, we could work with that.
Shad, I tried to go to a doctor and see if I had that too. Turns out I don't. Turns out I'm just lazy.
You know, I actually worried if that was the case with me for years, and it was so weird. So like now I'm all informed of what the official like name for it is myalgic encephalomyelitis. That's yeah.
There was that up, dude.
I know, you can look it up.
If only there was some kind of an elixir that gave us energy and productivity together. I wonder what that would look like.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be that.
The world may never know.
Actually, give you energy.
It's called cocaine.
Sugar.
My response to that, Mike, is
sugar.
The cocaine is natural. You grow it it comes out of the soil. Cocaine is all natural opiate. So
luckily, I have a mild form of myalgic encephalomyelitis, which is chronic fatigue syndrome, right? And it is genuinely a bizarre, weird condition. And for years, I had all these random symptoms arising, sensitivity to light and noise all of a sudden, some like aggressive weight loss in one period. And I didn't complain too much about that, but I had completely lost my appetite. And all these weird symptoms. When I finally got diagnosed, I looked up, okay, what are the symptoms? And holy crap, I'm ticking every single friggin' box. It's answering all these weird medical conditions. And I'm like, wow, holy crap. Finally, I have the answers of what this insane thing is.
And I remember in the late 90s when the term first started getting popped around, like it was a derisive term that doctors had given this condition. I think it was Inside Edition. I first saw a story about them. People were trying to figure out why they were fatigued, and they called it that as a joke at the time, only for years later to kind of confirm that, yeah, this is actually a thing.
Yeah, it's real. And it's it's becoming a more serious kind of consideration and study. And just because, you know, it's affected the channel, I had to post last stream, everything like that. it's one of those conditions very few people understand. And it's unfortunate because a lot of people who have chronic fatigue syndrome sometimes are just considered, well, you're just lazy, just get up and do it. And they don't understand how debilitating it can be. And this is just the we have preamble discussion. We're going to get to the main topic. We will get to the main topic, which is it's the Mike's stream today. This is going to be some all about the Hedge night. But before we get there, just because again, preamble and stuff like that, there is a YouTube channel called Broken Battery, which actually explains what myalgic encephalomyelitis is, and they have very short, simple but effective videos sharing it. And let me just just so people can kind of get a better understanding of this thing, because very few people do, right? And so myalgic encephalomyelitis. This is what.
Myalgic encephalomyelitis, sometimes called chronic fatigue syndrome or ME/CFS, is a serious, long-term disease that can be profoundly disabling.
I feel very lucky that I'm not as severe as what people can get under this thing. There are people who they are wholly debilitated and they just can't get out of bed with this stuff. So it can get real bad.
It's not being tired all the time. Patients have an energy impairment that dramatically limits their activity. The hallmark symptom is called post-exertional malaise.
And it sucks when you get like that. That's exactly what happened to me last week, where another way we call it a crash, where you do something that triggers it. And sometimes you don't even know what it was. And then a couple of days later, your body just shuts down and you have this crash. And it sucks, man. It really sucks.
Which means when patients exceed their available energy, they experience a worsening of symptoms and reduction in physical function, typically about 12 to 48 hours after activity. Patients often refer to this as a crash, which can be triggered by physical, cognitive, and emotional activity, and can last for days or even weeks, sometimes leading to a relapse and further disability. Activities need to be carefully managed to avoid making the condition worse. The NICE guideline requires the following symptoms for a diagnosis.
I won't go through the whole thing, but these are good little videos that explain how this works. And when I was finally diagnosed, no joke, it was like a godsend. I was like, holy crap, finally. Because there are some weird symptoms that you get out of this that you don't think are related, but it's actually all connected to anything. But I appreciate everyone's patience. We're back on track, and let's dive into the main thing, because Mike, you've been on a bit of cloud nine recently, hey?
It's been a pretty good week.
So
I mean, obviously the Hedge Knight, then the grandson, and then peace in the Middle East.
That was a big one.
Week, man.
Yeah, snapping into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
All right, so let's give some background to the audience that might not be fully aware. Right,
This is gonna be an interview.
It'll be multiple things. I want to get your feedback on what George told you in terms of the design path and everything like that, how they are adapting it into live action, and the fact that you deserve a lot of credit for this, and you might go unnoticed. Because, all right, so reeling it back, people might have heard of a just is this small and up and coming writer named George R. Martin.
Young Buck.
Young Buck, yep. He's done a couple of things here and there. Yep. And he is the author of A Song of Ice and Fire. I get those mixed up. Is it Fire and Ice or Ice and Fire?
Ice and Fire.
Ice and Fire.
Which is the Game of Thrones series, even though Game of Thrones is just the first book, and the series is A Song of Ice and Fire. One of the things that's really impressed me about this series is the world building and history that is done with it. The history is nuts. It's so detailed to the point where he has multiple additional prequel stories in different points of the history of Westeros. And one of the prominent ones that has been, adapted is House of the Dragon, which is a prequel history about it. But there are many stories that you could dive into. There's something
particular about that, though, because House of the Dragon was, where is it? I have it somewhere. It was based on the stories in the House of Blood and Fire, right? House of Blood and Fire, I think. It's like it's like a history book.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I kind of compare it to you know what the Marvel method is of scripting?
Oh yeah.
Right. The Marvel method
Stanley's
is
favorite.
you
Hiring us writers and just making it up as the film is being made.
No. This is back when Stan Lee was writing more books than he could write. So so he would just write a plot and then hand it to the artist. The artist would make it into a 22-bit, and then he would go back in and dialogue the whole thing. Right. So that's kind of the way I compared, like Blood and Fire was like a history, and they took the plot and they're turning it into a script. Dude, this thing, like almost everything in that preview is directly out, like quoting the script in the book.
We are going to be getting to that in terms of the adaptation and how closely they have kept to, well, not just the book, like the graphic novel. This is an adaptation of the graphic novel more than the book, it looks like. But reeling it back again, so one of these other stories in Westeros is the Hedge Knight. Now the book series, is it called just the Hedge Knight book series, or is it?
I mean, I don't think it was intended to be a series, but it's when he printed it as a single standalone, it was a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
Okay.
Right, and because the Hedge Knight's the first one, the Sworn Sword's the second one, and then the Mystery Knight's the third one. All of them drawn by me.
So he wrote these as like shorter kind of companion stories, which people have liked.
Yeah, I think they're like 90 to 100 pages or something like that.
Yeah, what there was a graphic novel adaptation of the books themselves, weren't they? Did you do those, or did someone else?
I did the comic book covers it came out as comics first with Devil's Due, and then it got compiled into these little. Oh wait, that's not one. It doesn't matter. I have.
So, are you talking about Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you did some of the covers for that.
I did a cover for each of the comic books. I was the regular official cover artist.
And so, when it got to doing a graphic novel adaptation of the Hedge Knight series, you were the main artist for that.
This was first. There is a whole story. So I was working with these guys called the DeBell brothers, right? That was the Marvel printing. I can show you the different printings because
that was the one I had that I lost in the flood of 2016. I lost all my paperbacks, graphic novels, everything. Not that one, no.
This is the
one that Shad was holding up. Yeah, so I lost that in a flood, unfortunately.
Dang it!
I can tell you the story. Les DeBell. Great guy, tenacious as all heck. I don't know how he gets it, but he was just this. He started the let's turn novels into graphic novels thing, right? Mm-hmm. He started it with the Hedge Knight, the original version of this. So he was a huge fan of George R. R. Martin, and he would just harass the crap out of him, basically. And this was before. I think he only had 3 books out at the time. This was 2001. So what was the one that came out? Storm of Swords was out. It was right before Feast of Crows came out. Before Feast of Crows came out. And he's like, he got a hold of George, told him, he kept sending him like artwork from this other guy. He was just trying to pressure George into making a comic book, right? and he's like, we want to do, Game of Thrones. We want to do Song of Ice and Fire. And they're like, George is like, well, I'm not going to give you that, but I got this novella called The Hedge Knight. And it takes place in Westeros. It takes place 90 years, 100 years before the events in a Game of Thrones start. And he's like, we'll try you out on that. We'll try out on this. Right. And so, Les got a hold of me, brought me on board. I fired everybody because he made me art director, and this team is horrible. I mean, from top to bottom, this team is horrible.
When you said you fired everyone, are you talking about writers and
okay, they didn't have a writer. Mm-hmm. Wait, did they have a writer? I think maybe they had a writer, But yeah, they had a penciler, they had an inker, they had and it was all terrible. Even the letterer. So I was just like, no, we have to find good people. You want to do this for George, it has to be professional across the board. First of all, I'll draw it. Then we found, which by the way, George was very excited about that.
Because was George familiar with the work you've done before, or you showed him some of your like concept ideas for it? And
I showed him. Hold on, I have
Please tell me you went in, got them in the room one by one, and pulled a Vince McMahon. You're fired.
I did not, oddly enough. No, but they were not happy.
The people who got fired, yeah, I can imagine that.
Fired, we're not happy, yeah.
Well, as Zerigan Rye says in the chat, this is what Marvel and DC needs today: someone to come in and clean house.
Yeah,
yes.
And so also, I had there was a handful of writers who I thought were quite good. Sean Jordan, Ben Avery, one or two more, and I gave them an assignment. I said, I want you to take this portion of the book and write it as a comic script, right? And then I had them do that. I sent them to George to have him pick which one he thought was doing the best job. George picked Ben Avery, put Ben Avery on the map. He, the artist of the Hedge or writer of the Hedge Knight. He's been busy ever since, so that was great. These are actually some of the original designs I did, and I sent to George. So this is Baylor Breakspear. You want to blow it up?
Let's check that out. Yes, how good does that look? Look at that.
This was 2001 or 2002. So it's like I've been.
So
I think George was like this. This is
Is that ass?
Lord Ashford. So these are
the initial concepts you sent George,
right,
for kind of the pitch.
Yeah. This is Manfred Dondarrion.
Look at this.
This is Andrew Ashford. Robert Ashford.
Now, I want to point out some of the things that I think George would appreciate, because George is a huge medieval enthusiast, man after my own heart. He loves medieval history, and what you're doing here in some of just these designs is especially the armor. I was looking at the pauldrons on one of the previous ones. They were actually realistically, properly, depicted medieval armor.
Studied.
Yes, and
it's almost like you were professional.
I have one bone to pick with you with these designs.
Hold on a second.
But look at that. This one. Oh, that's great.
Robin Reisling. Stefan Fossaway. He plays a pivotal role. Mm-hmm. Prince Maekar Targaryen.
And look at that.
Let's see how these translate.
Proper depicted swords.
Yeah. What's his first name? Raymond Fossaway. This was the one that becomes the first green apple Fossaway. If you're nerdy enough to know what I'm talking about. This was the original. Actually, this was the second drawing of Dunk, because I hadn't read the book yet, and I was basing it off of the original artist. So this was my original drawing of Dunk, based on the original artist's original drawing of Dunk. Mm-hmm. And I send this to George, and he's like, that doesn't look anything like Dunk. He's like, that looks more like Lionel Targaryen, Lionel Baratheon.
Yeah, and I can already pick out things that George would have an issue with that one. Is that Dunk?
It's fantasy.
Dunk is supposed to be he's supposed to be more poor than this.
Right.
He doesn't have a rope cord for his belt. The sword looks too fancy, and he's got too much armor.
I drew him after I actually read the description.
Mm-hmm.
I redrew him. This was the first drawing of Dunk.
And what did George say on that one?
That's perfect. Although
exactly.
this isn't the way it ended up. I mean, you can tell the gorget's different.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's kind of the interesting thing about this is like, and that is the original drawing of Egg, even though, I made him look like a little Roman soldier or something. And then here's some of the key players: Steely Pate, Darren the Drunken, Tansel Too Tall, and Sir Arlen Penetry.
Now, what is really intriguing about this, these initial character designs served the basis for the designs of the characters in the graphic novel.
Right.
And we are going to take a look at the trailer for the live action, which are almost 1-for-1 adaptations from Mike's designs in the graphic novel. And so what we're actually seeing with the, the concepts Mike is sharing, these are essentially the foundation concepts for the live action.
Yeah. I have most of the original art for the book.
Mate, like, are you wanting to keep those because they might be worth a pretty penny after this live action launches? The original art
might well be.
Are they going to go ahead and adapt everything from George R. R. Martin? Like anything to stop him from finishing that book?
So George sent me this, which is the GRRM retrospective, right? This has like everything prior to A Song of Ice and Fire, and look, he wrote this in it.
Oh, look at this. To Mike, who gave Dunk a face. Thanks for all the great work from George.
Yeah, he actually sent me this, and he's like, if you want to do anything else, read through these and see if I wanted to do anything. And like, I never did, but started reading some of them. But well, here's the thing: it's like by the time this stuff, it took a few years between me meeting George and doing the Hedge Knight and then doing the Sworn Sword. Before we had done the Hedge Knight and the Sworn Sword, I think before HBO.
Yeah,
first series. So it's like a lot of stuff I could have chosen from. I think these have all probably been optioned by now.
Probably, actually, other hungry people have their claws on everything that probably George has made now.
Yeah.
So, all right. So he was happy with those designs. Now, I have one bone to pick with you in your designs, Mike. And this is not anything to discredit your work, because your work has been phenomenal. Now, let me also kind of give a background of how I came across the Hedge Knight, and then this led me to, I guess, connecting with Mike, right? I actually did not know anything about A Song of Ice and Fire at all. I was more into Brandon Sanderson fantasy and stuff like that. And so he wasn't on my radar. And I was just going through my, we don't have many comic book stores in Australia, but in Melbourne, the big city, there is one or two that actually sells a wider range of graphic novels and stuff. And I was in that store looking around and I saw this and I'm like, hang on, is that a medieval comic book?
Those don't exist.
I don't think I had seen a comic book that was like medieval fantasy or anything. Usually it's all just superheroes. So I'm like, grab this and I'm like, okay, let's take this looks really good. The artwork is actually mostly, top tier. The armor and everything. And so I bought it on just an impulse buy because I liked the cover. And then I read it and I'm like, this story is awesome. I like genuinely, and it probably misled me on what George R. R. Martin's universe was like, or his writing was like, because the Hedge Knight is a little different. It's actually quite different from his usual style, where it's more heroic fantasy. It has more he does have good heroic characters, but they usually meet,
but it's barely even fantasy. It's more just a heroic medieval
military fantasy.
Right? Yeah, almost. There's like no magic at all in the Hedge Knight.
Right. There's just mentions of dragons. Yeah. History of dragon stuff. No magic.
Yeah, it's basically just medieval fiction, but it's a great story. And I fell in love with Dunk's character, where he's not the smartest guy, but he has a heart of gold and is determined to keep his vows. And it's a great heroic character story, something that George doesn't actually do often. Like, and people, the nicer people in, the Game of Thrones universe usually have very messy ends.
Yeah.
But each, like, the stories here, like, of the Hedge Knight, they're mostly self-contained and they have satisfying endings. There's a bit of a,
I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but
yeah, I know the ultimate end, Mike, where
that ultimate end maintains that same ideal. It's just that Dunk squeaks through.
Like, I actually don't know the details of the ultimate conclusion, and that's Summerhall, isn't it? That's where we're like.
No. I'm just talking about in the Hedge Knight.
Oh, in the Hedge Knight, yeah.
You know what happens at the very end, and which
I assume he dies because it's Game of Thrones.
Dunk doesn't die because there's a sequel. So don't.
Yeah.
No spoilers there. I don't want to give spoilers for those.
I assume he loses his dick and his balls because it's Game of Thrones.
Well,
there is a character that is just a heroic, good guy, the kind of guy you want, leading you, and he gets George R.R. Martin. So.
Yeah, that guy gets killed because he's a good guy. Those noble people who die in this thing.
It's funny what Lit Dev says. Like, I assume something terrible happens to him, and that's why like reading the Hedge Knight gave me a different impression of his stories and everything, because most of the Dunk stories don't have that. Dunk is a hero and actually has heroic kind of conclusions. There's a bit of subversive kind of George style conclusions here and there, but for the most part, like, Dunk is a hero that wins, and it's like, yeah. And I loved it. I loved it because of that, and I really, appreciate the artwork. And so I actually had this very book on my shelf in my videos. And Mike saw that I had this.
Oh, somebody sent me, Shadiversity is a fan of yours. I'm like, who's Shadiversity? And they said it to me. I went like, oh, cool, medieval weapons, dude, nice.
Yeah, and Mike reached out, kind of following that same like goal that you had with George about turning more books into graphic novels, and it's like, hey, do you have anything that can be turned into a graphic novel? And I'm like, well, as a matter of fact, I do. And we made the graphic novel adaptation for Shadow the Conqueror. Part 1 has been released. Part 2 has run into frustrating,
colors.
But it's the artwork is done. We will get Part 2 out someday in the future.
It's been penciled and inked for like
a year or more, or 2
more than a year.
More than a year.
Colorists.
And what's frustrating is that
my existence.
Oh my God. And the artwork is so good for Part 2. And Part 2 is nearly 3 times bigger than Part 1. It's like 120 pages, and it gets
125 pages. It's 19 pages shy of this.
It's rock and roll. It is just, it gets into
I forgot this is extra long. I think the last issue of this is like 28 pages, so it's like 28.
Well, hoping you guys do. I hope there's an option to get the first one, because
yeah.
I missed out on it the first time.
You'll be able to get Part 1 when Part 2 is released, and so you can buy them both
with all new covers.
Mike, I got a question. We'll have collector covers for Part 2. I'm not sure about Part 1. Yes.
I got a question, Mike.
Yeah.
Did you draw? Did you I know you probably grew up reading a lot of comics and superhero stuff too. Did you read a lot of fantasy comics as well? Because when I was growing up, like, I was all about sci-fi and fantasy, the novels, but I missed out on a big swath of fantasy comic books that were out when I was a kid that just were not on the shelves that I happened to look at, which are mostly like gas station spinner racks and, grocery store magazine racks. There was a Dragonlance comic series I never knew existed until.
Right. I was like,
what Legend of Puma?
Or Dragonlance comic. I know about the books. The Dragonlance series was interesting because it was it was D&D, but it was the land of Kryn, and it was this kind of like very early in that standard fantasy setting where it has a lot of tropes and like things we take for granted now, but back then it was brand new.
Mm-hmm. And
so I did the not the Hickman or the Margaret, whatever her name, Margaret Weiss.
Margaret Weiss.
I did the breakdowns for the Legend of Huma, and again, that was with Les. And so, like I was saying, how Les, all this turning all these novels and stuff into comics. We started that with the Hedge Knight, and then we had Robert Silverberg. We did the 7th. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. We did Robert Silverberg one. We did Dragonlance.
You worked on Wheel of Time.
All these other guys, and like that's when Devil's Due came in, and they're like they wanted to like take over or whatever. And it's a long convoluted story. It's just not really important to the point, but it's like all these novelists started coming in and doing that's all because of this.
Well, and as a book reader, I really enjoy having like a graphic novel companion, because as much as I like my imagine stuff while I'm reading it, I do also like to know in a concrete manner what the characters look like, what the surroundings look like. It kind of helps solidify a lot of that information in my memory. Like I remember I read the Driss novel, graphic novels. Those were pretty good, and helped me visualize a lot of stuff that I had trouble visualizing back when I first read them. Those were very, very good.
I completely agree. I love having a visual companion. I have my own kind of imagination of what it looks like, but there's something awesome about having a comic book kind of adaptation of the novels you love. And the Hedge Knight did from memory, it did really good. I know I really liked it. And from every time I see it come up, it's regarded as one of the best.
It did really well at Image, and then it did really well at Devil's Due, and then and then that when what it was when HBO announced Game of Thrones. That's when Marvel came knocking, and that's why the reprint, the one you have, is the reprint.
This is the Marvel one, right?
Right. So see, it says that little flag on the other corner. That's the Bell Brothers. DB Pro. Yeah.
Okay.
So that it did really well at Marvel. No, it was before. So it did really well at Marvel. Marvel reprinted that one. We did the Sworn Sword, and then they just kind of like let the contract lapse, and then HBO announced A Song of Ice and Fire, and Marvel came crawling back to George, and he's like, no. And because at the same time, Amazon was about to launch Jet City Comics, right? And through Jet City Comics, this were like their biggest. These two books outsold everything else Jet City published combined, and that includes, they wanted to, I guess, make Jimmy Palmiotti like the big deal over there and whatnot. But no, man, these two books alone just squashed everything else they published. So it did really well. And then the Mystery Knight, which still bone to pick. They just grabbed art out of the interior for the cover, and I'm like, no, what?
Yeah.
No, and so this is the only one that was never made into individual issues. We made the entire book,
mm-hmm.
And it was through Random House, right? Random House.
Is that like that? I still don't have that.
I know. I keep meaning to send you one, but I
just need to get off my butt and buy it. It's obviously available online somewhere.
And here's the artistic thing is here. Hedge Knight is my pencils, and then we hired, or I selected a inker named Mike Crowell. Is that right? Yeah, Mike Crowell. And because I wanted like a sort of a painterly inking style, just so it felt kind of older. I know my background.
Your green screen is ruining it.
And just like more softer, feathery style. And I thought it looked good at the time. I don't hate it. But then the second one, I did sort of a cross between pencils and inks. I did tight pencils, and then I used inks just for it's gosh dang, it's hard to see. But this is all basically digital inks converting typed pencils into inks. And so that looked better. But then when it came to the Mystery Knight, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go full straight up pencils and inks. And so each book has a slightly distinct style to it. And this is all quill. I did this entire book in quill. So like the first book is brush. The second book is pencil. The third book is quill. And I don't know. I have half a mind to just go back in and just re-ink all of these pages with a quill. Because what's funny is I sent all the blue lines to get ink. So when I say I have all the pages for these, they're just original. Ooh, spoiler. Ink spoiler. But you might not know what's going on. So they're just the pencils.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so I could go in, literally ink these, and I don't know. I've always wanted to, just because.
You know, even I'm tempted to get one of those art pages if you ever sell them, because I love the Hedge Knight, man, and it's the thing that got us to meet and then work together, and so I have a soft spot, for the Hedge Knight and your work on it, and that's something that I could see myself wanting to get. So I need to get to my pet peeve, and it's a small thing. It's a small thing, but I do want to know why, like what was the thing? So Mike, you did a great job with the Hedge Knight. There is this one thing, right? And so what Dunk is wearing here? Okay, let me right there. What that is called a monastic scapula, and it is not
wear a helmet with it.
Well, usually knights would never even wear it. What they would wear is a surcoat, which has a split down the middle, not a flap that goes down the middle. So, yes. A monastic scapular is a artifact that kind of is a holdover from World of Warcraft fantasy type things, where they think that's what a tabard is. When a tabard is sometimes a tabard was got an overflap and a back flap, but they weren't long. They would cut off about yay far under the waist from the belt, and so the fantasy kind of flap that you see Dunk wearing is kind of like a fantasy evolution from old style tabards merging with surcoats, making them far too long than what they were historically. Because the coats that they wore that long were again surcoats with the split down the middle.
Right.
Now I'm assuming. It does look cool. And interestingly enough, it does give the knights in the Hedge Knight a kind of small fantasy flair that is this isn't complete history. And so I'm not saying I hate it. It's just one of those, because I'm a medieval purist kind of thing, where it's kind of a consistent thing you see in fantasy. Now, I'm interested in your thought process. Was there a reason you kind of picked the? People assume that they're called tabards, but they're actually called a scapula. Was there a design reason you went with it, just because you like the look, or there was a reference you were looking at?
I mean, I had a lot of references. This is before. This is 2002, so it's I didn't even have very good internet.
Yeah, I know.
So, it was books. I have medieval books of ancient medieval drawings and medieval weapons, armor. I had books and books and books, and so I was I'm just looking. I'm trying to see where I store all these. Not that I'm going to grab them, because whatever. But yeah, that's why all my small folk, they're all wearing what medieval folk wore back then.
Oh, yeah.
I was just ripping it off from original sources, basically.
And you did genuinely a phenomenal job across the board. And even me being the insane autistic purist I am, I only have one or two kind of actually kind of things, which is very slow what I would usually have for medieval adaptations. And even the thing that Mike picked, it's not a non-medieval thing. The monastic scapula did exist medievally. It's just that they weren't worn by knights; they were worn by monks in religious kind of things. Now, there might be a chance that some Knight Templar might have worn the monastic scapula, But as to the mainstream garb that knights wore, it was a surcoat, and everyone. I'm assuming everyone knows what a surcoat is.
Yeah, I thought that was a surcoat.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not to your discredit. Everyone thought that's what a medieval surcoat was in that period, like in the 2006 kind of thing.
See to my horse. I'm not a stable boy. Not bright enough.
Well, not bright. That's directly in the trailer. Gonna watch it. So I have.
It's crazy going through the trailer because I'm like, I was showing my wife, I was like pausing it. I'm like, look, that's here. Pause. Look, that's here. I'm like,
Mike, I want to do.
There's the moment where he's like, I am Sir Duncan the Tall, and he's got his arm up and like, never heard of you. It's like, oh, you heard everybody.
We're gonna do that in this stream. As we go through the trailer, I want you to point out, because I recognize so much from the graphic novel, but we're going to show you where in the graphic novel that is to show you that this is such an adaptation from Mike's work.
I'm not, because they didn't other than Dunk, I don't think they really nailed any of the other characters from my designs. But boy, you can really tell a lot of the shots. Mm-hmm. It's almost like I storyboarded part of this, you know?
Yeah. Like when you see the 7 knights at the final joust coming forward, that gave me strong, graphic novel vibes.
Yeah, I
wouldn't doubt if they did.
So
I wouldn't doubt it at all.
All right, so if I've got a thing, medieval clothing. I wonder if I've got my references here and I can find the monastic scapula. But look, it's a small thing. But the thing is, though, right? You said you did this in 2000 and when?
I started in 2002, I believe.
2002? Because
trying to remember when I originally started it.
No joke. Nearly everyone in that period, like in the mainstream, right, thought a surcoat was exactly what you assumed it was as well. The confusion between what a monastic scapula, because so everyone really thought that, and I'm not sure it was until I did my video on the monastic scapula that this isn't a surcoat on Shadiversity when people started to actually learn that it wasn't that. And I think it was, and a lot of people were like, when I released that video, were like, oh, really? I had no idea kind of thing. And it took a bit of research on my behalf to actually find the resources and references, because it was hard to find correct information back then. It wasn't just a YouTube video explaining it all. Actually, here is one image of a scapula. I'm going back through my references, right? Let me bring this up. And this is actually a female wearing it. So let me share screen. Share. So from medieval art, here is one. And that's a scapula right there. Now, the monastic ones are actually a bit wider. So I'll see if I can find one of those, because I also have one of a guy wearing a good Oscar. Anyway,
all right.
Might be
I'll be right back.
Really?
I gotta go out. I gotta go turn the AC on, dude. It just started cooking in here for some weird reason. So
all right. We'll talk about something random. Peace in the Middle East.
That is perfectly random, yeah. So how about the peace in the Middle East?
Yeah, it's happening. It's been interesting and funny seeing everyone online kind of talk about it, and everyone who was like screaming "Free Palestine" and stuff like that.
Awfully quiet today.
Oh, very quiet after Trump was the one that caused.
I noticed none of the people that just months ago swore Trump was leading us straight to the mouth of hell with World War III after that attack on Iran has apologized to him for not only not starting World War III, but ending yet another war or conflict across over in the Middle East. So, where's your thank you, Trumps? Where's your thank yous? Where's your I'm sorry's? I was wrong. Where's all that, guys? Are you going to walk it back, or did you just want to be mad about it?
I found some epic copes going on. I shared one that I found. It's epic cope. It's like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but it was President Joe Biden. Joe, I think is for the full name, Joe Autopin Biden, I think is his full name.
Autopin, thank you. Yep.
Who secured the release of 140 hostages in Gaza. Trump just 28. That means Biden was responsible for 83% of all hostages freed. Yet you never know it by the way the media talk. The media is pro-Trump. That's another big cope, by the way, is that media just loves Trump. It loves everything he does, and that they're biased against the Democrats. That's the newest cope. And he goes, if anyone deserves the title Peace President, it's number 46, not the guy bombing fishing boats, international waters, and sending masked agents to terrorize Americans. Joe Autopin Biden silenced Americans.
Yeah, and he actively wanted more war. Holy crap!
He wanted more war.
Yeah.
Look at the cope going on. They're so butthurt that not only did President Trump make peace in the Middle East, that the lady who did win the Nobel Peace Prize instead of him dedicated her prize to him, to Trump.
Yeah.
Like you deserve this, actually.
Yeah, and just another important kind of thing to cover before we jump back onto the main topic. I think it's important that we see what is happening in the world and give credit where credit is due. And a lot of credit, honestly, I didn't know this about Stephen Hawking.
That's what the wrestling career.
Look at him go.
Box exploded. Unbelievable power. Victory confirmed.
All right.
Not bad for a dead
All
guy.
right.
Not bad, Stephen.
If you're gonna show off AI stuff,
We will get there, Mike. We will get there.
Also,
I
Scott
had way too much fun this past week.
Scott Adams also released this very tearful response video, I guess, to the whole Trump thing, peace in the Middle East.
Oh yeah.
Wait, who was sad about it?
Scott Adams. He released a response video. He's a very happy. He's let me see here. He's very teary eyed. He's going to go over he goes over the fact that I sacrificed everything to vote for Trump.
That's it. This is why. What I mean, of course, for the few of you who don't know exactly what that means, is that in 2016, when I decided I didn't know I was doing it at the time, but quickly I figured it out. When I decided I would throw away my entire social life to back Trump, and when I eventually threw away my entire career, which even before I was canceled, my licensing business and book sales went to almost nothing because I was supporting Trump. I sacrificed everything. I sacrificed my social life. I sacrificed my career. I sacrificed my reputation. I may have sacrificed my health. And I did that because I believed it was worth it. Today's the day.
God bless you, Scott.
Today's the day.
Good
God
on him.
bless you.
All right. And I'm really happy I lived long enough to see it. It was worth it. It was worth it. Not just for this, but it was worth it. It was worth it to be right. It's worth it to be right.
Good on
In the end, we were right.
All right, so
Yeah, and so many of us have actually copped so much crap for our, more either center right or even, conservative further right opinions. I think each one of us have copped it and been attacked multiple times online.
I'd just like to pause it for a second on what LitDev said. He said, in the end, we were right. Bro, in the beginning, we were right.
Right the whole time, huh?
Right the whole
Oddly
time.
enough. Yeah.
Only in the end could we actually prove it. Like, see, you fucking assholes.
You know what is very, very ironic about, we're talking about this. Scott's talking about being canceled. He got canceled in 2016 for voting for Trump. I wouldn't have done this if I hadn't got canceled from DC in 2000.
Really interesting.
Because I was looking for other stuff to do, and I landed on this with the DeBells. But I was doing JLA.
Justice League, man.
What did they cancel you from DC
I was
for?
doing this friggin' book, the friggin' right, and I was Brian Hitch's fill-in artist, which meant that I was probably doing more than he was because he's so slow, and and I had a JLA 12-issue maxi series greenlit at DC. It was going to be like DC's answer to Avengers Forever, which was going to be freaking awesome. And then I went to San Diego Comic-Con one year, and just prior to JLA, I was on Adventures of Superman. So I was like I was one of their top tier guys, and I'm on the panel with Jeff Loeb, who I've known since like 1993. But he's somebody's asking in the audience like about Superman being a Christian, and Jeff's like, yeah, it wouldn't make sense for Clark Kent to be anything other than a Christian, right? He's like freaking Nebraska or whatever. He's like small town Nebraska. He's probably a Methodist. Blah blah blah. I go home from the con and I'm on the DC Comics message board, and I'm like, Jeff Loeb just said that Superman is a Christian. And the GLA, the Gay League of America, started arguing with me about all this stuff, and they said, we're going to start a letter writing campaign to editorial to get you fired. They canceled me in 2000. They did. And what was his name? The lead editor for the Batman office was an out and proud gay dude, Bob Schreck. Out and proud gay dude at the time. And Batman office is actually more powerful than the JLA office, believe it or not. And suddenly, I wasn't getting any more JLA. Suddenly, Dan wasn't really answering me about when we're going to start this maxi series. Suddenly, I can't get any work from any of the offices at DC. And ironically, very ironically, a gay friend of mine, Darren Davis, calls me and he's like, you've been blacklisted. He's like, we know guys at DC that have been talking about this, and you've been blacklisted because of stuff you said on the message boards. And I'm like, I didn't say anything weirder than they're like, are you anti?
They shot the messenger,
right? And so I was blacklisted, and because I was blacklisted, I ended up doing this. So what they meant for evil, God meant
the very definition of when God closes a door, he opens a window.
Yep.
And that work on the Hedge Knight has led to so much influence and inspiration for now a live action adaptation, which I think it's going to be big. Look, maybe I'm biased because I like it so much.
I'm biased.
and so, but the Hedge Knight is actually a really good story. And if they just be true to the story, and then they're already nailing the visuals by the look of it, right? A lot of people are going to really love this show. And also, I think like It has been said, and there seems to be that they have a point when they say this, that George has an issue with writing traditional heroism and stuff, and he always likes to do the subversive. You know, he's a more science fiction, Twilight Zone-ish type of writer where he loves to do something subversive, and people have speculated. This is the reason why he's having such trouble finishing the Game of Thrones Song of Ice and Fire series, because it seems like he wants to do something subversive where the audience wants a heroic end of some type.
Can I just be a little more practical about that?
Yeah.
George is driven by his creative juices, right? He's not like he says he's a farmer. He's not a planner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those juices, that when you see your work of 20 years spent of his life building this world, and then they got so far ahead of him and then crashed the ship. I could see that draining your creative juices so much that you're like, what is the point?
That didn't just crash the ship. They crashed it because they wanted to just hurry up and end it to go to Star Wars. Because they had that offer, didn't it? Let's go ahead and finish this chapter quick so we go to Star Wars.
If that was an accurate kind of, you know, depiction of what he was intending to end it, and seeing the negative reaction to.
Well, no, because I really believe that if George had written that the way George would have written it,
it wouldn't
have been as crap. They probably took just plot points and they're like, oh well, we'll just do this. We'll do this scene where Jon Snow's just hiding behind things and not getting burned up by a dragon because he's just hiding.
We'll make it as a version as possible. We'll have Arya Stark kill the bad guy that Jon Snow has been building up to fight the entire show. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then what happens afterwards? Like Arya Stark had the whole thing where like she was supposed to fight Cersei or something, and then or the Lannisters, because Arya Stark was all about fighting the Lannisters, but she ended up killing the Night King. And then she goes to try to kill the Lannisters, and then the Hound's like, no. And she's like, okay, and she just walks away. Oh yeah, you know what's brilliant? How about we build up a bunch of drama and just not give the audience the drama? That'll get us right on the edge of our seats. Oh yeah, I can't wait for the next thing.
It's cut out a lot of really interesting things too, like Lady Stoneheart. I was so cheesed that they didn't even try to adapt that or bring that into play.
Yeah. George knows. He was in like season 1 or 2, and he's like, they're stepping on some butterflies here. He's like,
But it's a really good world builder. I do like George R. R. Martin's world building.
Great world builder.
Master world builder. Absolutely master.
Genuinely. And I have a feeling, I believe a lot of audiences genuinely love traditional heroism. And that's why traditional storytelling has become such an appreciated thing. We love the happy endings. George likes to subvert that, and he does it well. But I think A Hedge Knight has the potential to be really popular because it's actually one of his stories. He has a more traditional hero, more kind of regular happy endings.
Just to stay on the Song of Ice and Fire thing, you know why it was so believable at the end that the dragons hatched? Oh, because you didn't read it, but season 1.
Mm-hmm.
The reason it was so believable at the end that the dragons hatched is because you expected them to hatch the whole time. Mm-hmm. But every other thing you expected, George flipped.
Mm-hmm.
He subverted everything, every expectation all the way through. And when the dragons hatched, you're like, I wasn't expecting what I was expecting because nothing that I was expecting has come true yet.
Well, I don't know about that.
When he does the conventional thing, you're surprised.
Right, right.
Well,
So
here's the thing.
That's my broader point. If like it was set up for Jon Snow to be the big hero at the end, and he was, you wouldn't have expected it because you were expecting it.
See, I don't know that I was expecting the eggs to hatch because they did set up in the book, if I recall correctly, that they were petrified. They were just petrified, the dragon eggs. That's how they sold them to Danny. They were. I wasn't actually expecting them to hatch. I was actually surprised. The first of many that came about through the series. But maybe that's just me.
There you go.
I had a thought, and now it's escaped me. All right, but I do feel Hedge Knight actually will end up being quite successful. Maybe I'll be wrong.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm super keen for it.
I think it'll be beloved. Everybody who reads this story loves the story.
Yeah, it's a great story. Genuinely,
They
great.
loved it so much they ripped it off and made a Knight's Tale.
They're going to stretch it into 6
Kind of.
over bloated seasons.
Kind of. Well,
No. They're
They
it's
have
6
3
episodes, but they're only half an hour each.
Yeah, these are going to be tight. It's going to be like a long film. It's going to be
You know
like
what's
a long
funny? It's going to go issue by issue.
Oh, really? Hey,
I guarantee it because we found the perfect places to pause, right?
Hey, Mike.
Hey, look at that.
A proper monastic scapula. That's where they are historically. And now they're out of order. But anyway, there's an image of monastic scapula. Sorry. I'm very particular about this stupid stuff. Okay. So now A Knight's Tale is not A Knight's Tale. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Now, I love A Knight's Tale, but I actually like the Hedge Knight story more because it's funny, right? It's actually more historically plausible, a Hedge Knight, than A Knight's Tale is, even though A Knight's Tale is based in the historical period and it's supposed to be more realistic and historical as a result. I still enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so Mike, we're going to do it. I want to go through and we're going to try and pick out the scenes from the graphic novel in the trailer. And
before I'm getting an echo. But at some point, they have to shoot that.
Yeah, that looks great. That looks great. All right, you probably will be getting echo because I got the audio on now. So
right.
The first time I've seen this.
You haven't seen this one yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
All right, let's check this out. How is the dragon so
far? Hang on. I'm going to remove that. I'm going to fix the echo. I need to share it through.
Everyone get real comfortable with that. They reverse angle on it, but.
Ooh, yeah, that like already for the opening scene. I'm going to reshare and so here and share audio tab. All right, that should solve the echo. Okay, so right out of the gate, right? This looks so strongly like the graphic novel. So ready? Let's have a look at the graphic novel. Look at this. And so, I mean, it's from behind.
I was squire to Sir Ireland of Pennytree since I was a boy.
But when I saw Dunk, just what he's wearing, and they've nailed it so good, right? And we'll get a better kind of angle. But look at this. Look at that in comparison. I need to almost do like a side-by-side of you and the trailer. But we'll have to just kind of jump between the two. But look at that, right?
Yeah, and I'm wondering if they're going to do this flashback scene.
Yeah.
Because I saw it in like the previous trailer. They had Sir Arlen training him in flashbacks and stuff. But this is a flashback. This is him and Sir Baelor, Prince Baelor.
Yep. And because that's his knight, who trained him kind of. What was his name after Pennytree?
Arlen Pennytree.
All right.
Boy. They charged me to be a good knight. To defend the weak and the...
Now, this, I have this in the armor. Look at this.
I like it already.
It doesn't look good.
The opening line is like I was promised, trained to be a good knight. So he's already a hero. It's not like I want to become a king or I want to get rich. It's like I want to be a good guy. I do like that opening. Yeah, it's very refreshing.
It's great. It's a more traditional heroic tale, and that. Oh, okay. And look at the bro. Oh yeah, look at that. That is such a very close depiction and lift from the graphic novel.
Yeah, did you watch the New York Comic Con? They did the New York Comic Con panel with him, Egg, the director, and George. And this guy is a fan of the graphic novel. And he was like, he's like, I was so excited to see the armor. He's like, it looked 90% like it came right out of the graphic novel. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm like, yes, sir. And he was like, he's like, I read the Hedge Knight. I'm like, this is a guy. that I could play that I actually look like him.
I because you said like when you showed George your depiction of Dunk, right? He said it's perfect. Okay. I suspect that when they've gone to George to say how should this look, he probably just said, check it. We have a reference right here. Just follow this as the guide, because George has been collaborating a bit more with these, Game of Thrones
on
productions.
This one, he has the most control on this one out of any of the shows.
Really? Because that's good to hear. Like, I know he had more input with House of the Dragon, and then a bit less in season 2, which is why season 2 got a bit rocky. And he did kind of had some criticisms with season 2 House of the Dragon, but it's still House of the Dragon is still so much better depicted because of his input than Game of Thrones is. And then if he has even more input with Night of the Seven Kingdoms, I think this is what they're using, because you got his direct feedback on how to design it, and he was really
George wasn't doing anything other than writing his book back then, so he was in it. I talked to him regularly, multiple times a week, about Hedge Knight. So it's like he would, if I got just some sigil wrong, he would be like, well, that's not exactly. And I'm like, well,
like the sigils. I love it. So that's why Hedge Knight is such a good adaptation of the Game of Thrones. And guess what, right? When Game of Thrones came out, I didn't know it was in the same universe as the Hedge Knight, because it looked so different. Game of Thrones, the visual depiction of the universe is actually not an accurate depiction.
I was so cheesed, but the armor in Game of Thrones pisses me off.
Yeah, it's actually it's really poor. It's like really
one thing
poor
after the other.
Yeah, and like one of the things
in the TV show.
The TV show armor is actually, there's a lot of crap in it, right? It should look so authentically medieval, like with surcoats, tabards, sigils and knightly patterns. And that's what they did in House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon looks so much better, but because they wanted in the same universe, there's holdovers from Game of Thrones in House of the Dragon, like King's Landing. King's Landing looks like this kind of medieval Spanish town. And George said it's supposed to look like medieval France. And is there like some scenes that have flashbacks of him in Fleabottom, which is
but not much. There's
because the point is
George was so stoked to see the Ashford. Oh gosh, it's so much green.
I know,
Ashford Meadow. He was like, he loved this.
It look at
in there. Pretty impressive.
The medieval tents and the jousting setup, right? Yeah. That's what it should look like. Absolutely. And so when we see, how it looks
and then this little scene right here was actually in House of the Dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When that was in House of Dragon, I'm like,
brilliant. And so it's just really cool because Mike actually worked really closely with George in the Hedge Knight graphic novel adaptation. George had heaps of input, and Mike followed all the. By the way, Mike is really good at following, authorial input, because same with Shadow the Conqueror graphic novel. Mike and I collaborated, and there were some things that I was particularly, we got to do this one right. We got to make sure we get that right. The sword in particular, I can curious. A couple of times. And Mike's really good about that. He is a great adapter in the visual form, and so the graphic novel was brilliant. And we're seeing what the TV show is taking inspiration from, and this right here is like a near direct lift from the graphic novel, and I love it. It is. And the way Dunk looks, just like a basic, a linen, shirt, is a poor knight, and he's going to have the rope cord belt and everything.
So for those who don't know, he didn't have his own stuff because he was just a piss poor squire. So when Sir Arlen dies, he takes his sword, he takes his belt, but Sir Arlen's 120 pounds. And Dunk is literally 6'11". He's 17 years old. He's 6'11". So the belt and the helmet and the armor, nothing fits.
That's great.
Innocent. I swore
So there
it is.
Dracula.
them.
That's because of
Guess
you,
what? That side by side is so dead on.
Like the armor outfit that they put him in is 1-for-1 near, like 1-for-1.
Well, they didn't give him a frog's head helm. That's the only difference.
Yes, in fact, we see him put on the
Hey, Lord
helmet.
Targaryen.
So that helmet, actually, it's close.
It's very close.
It's very close, but it's actually quite close to like a cross between what you're showing there and well, right here. It's called a griffin helm. Let me show this helmet right here.
Right, but Dunk's helmet is not supposed to have any hinges.
Yeah,
Steely Pate says that hinges are a point of weakness, so you don't want to have hinges on your helmet.
Yeah, so the helmet in the TV show is closer to this, it seems like, because mine has a visor, whereas his one is supposed to be fixed.
Yeah,
solid and fixed.
So I did sort of an adaptation of a frog's head helm without it being froggy.
Yeah, it's close to a griffin helm, but a griffin helm has a visor where the one in the thing is fixed. Though I wonder,
I like how your helm is like straight up and down. It almost gives it kind of an unnatural, kind of a monstrous look to it.
And so this right here, they've adapted it so close. They've even kept the scapula. Complete. Like it's not. There's the scap. That's all you, Mike. That's because of you. That's a pet peeve, but I'm like, it still looks good.
I love it.
Fine, I'll accept it because at this point, it's actually a very distinctive, almost iconic look. Even though it's a bit on the plain side, that it should look plain because of the type of character he is, and we see him there wearing that scapula, and it still looks great. It still looks good. And for a fantasy world, I can kind of accept that this was one of the kind of fashion trends of this period in that world, that the knights were just started to adopt that style of surcoat, even though it's not really a surcoat, but they started wearing the monastic scapula as a thing so that's why in a fantasy, I think it works. And the fact that they are keeping it, right, means that to me, this is like confirmation that they are literally taking it directly from the graphic novel. Even the color of the surcoat is the same.
Yeah,
like
they did this weird modeling on it though, which it makes it just look like it's dirty, automatically dirty, instead of like he had it made. So I don't know if they're going to come up with some like where they got the material or what and why it's like automatically modeled.
Hey, Rings of Power, those don't look 3D printed.
No, this is real. This is real riveted mail that is wearing. This is authentic stuff. I'm not like as a medieval enthusiast. I'm watching this just like, oh yes, inject it into my veins.
All right,
I love it. Oh, and this sword, gorgeous, chef's kiss sword right here.
Rope belt. I love the rope belt.
Rope belt right there. Proper gore.
Problem though, in the book, and this is why I did the pommel the way it was. The pommel is supposed to be around black stone. And they did whatever they did with that. I think they maybe have an inset black stone in it.
Maybe because this
but
style
I don't
pommel,
see it right. Like right there, that doesn't look like there's an inset stone in the pommel.
No, but it's like this. You could basically find this in a museum. It's that accurate. This is lifted from a direct medieval reference, and I've seen pommels like this, which is kind of like a more oval-ish style pommel. And so I'm just happy they've done a very accurate sword.
They wanted to go for more of a practical, almost industrial look, like you like it's a cheap buy, like you only had so much gold to buy the. It didn't have any bells and whistles on it.
I think this is Penny Tree's sword.
Yeah,
is former master's sword.
Yeah.
Now, just the audio is coming through. Just to double check of the trailer, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, we got a really close up of the pommel. Then we're going back.
It looks like there's a penny.
There's
or something.
Yeah, like there's actually looks like a penny
copper.
set there. Yeah, interesting.
But it does look like maybe the exterior is made of blackstone.
And then again, what this is like 90% a adaptation for the graphic novel.
Baelor Targaryen. No. Then we.
So this is, you have the scene in the graphic novel for this one here, and so this one isn't a 1-for-1 from the graphic novel, but
No.
it's the correct lines of what's.
There's no swearing in the graphic novel.
Yeah, the graphic novel is far more PG than people are used to in Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
and so
people are used to Game of Thrones now. So
yeah, right. Yeah, Game of Thrones.
It's probably gonna be boobs and castration and like all kinds of murder.
There will likely not be any boobs.
Well, there won't be. I don't think there will be in season 1, though. There is a guy that likes to go whoring and asking for where the other whores are. So maybe they might have him in a whorehouse. But in season 2, in the second story in season 2, Dunk has a dream sequence with a naked woman in it, and Mike depicted in a very tasteful way, not showing any nudity, but because this is now HBO and Game of Thrones, they might do full frontal with that scene.
I wouldn't be surprised if they opened up the show with nudity, like in a brothel or something.
Well, isn't that cheap? It's just, have faith in the quality of your story and not just throwing random tits on the screen to try and attract people.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this I recognize the scene.
He's at Ashford Castle. This is right before he meets Arryn.
Do you want to show how it is in the graphic novel?
There's no 1-for-1 here. This scene's not in there.
Well, I know. Oh, but they have the are you Daegon Targaryen? That's in the graphic novel, though, isn't it? The lines I'm talking about.
I don't think so. No, really? He went to Stuart the plumber, which they'll show the guy spitting in the cup, I think, is plumber.
Okay. We shall continue.
Then would you move the fuck out of the way?
Sorry.
What's your name?
Sir Duncan the Tall.
Never.
So much of this.
What's your name?
Right, look at that.
That's right here.
That's this one. Show us.
Focus. Duncan. Yes, Sir Duncan of what? The bottom? Sir Duncan the Tall. Never heard of you.
Never heard of you. The good ones. That's great.
The scene's right in there.
Brilliant. But looking at the great set now, the budget isn't as huge for this, but they don't need as big of a budget. Most of the story happens around the tourney, and so if they just put a good set piece for the tournament grounds, it's gonna.
They needed Ashford Castle, the woods, the inn. It's really a self-contained vicinity, and then the tourney grounds and all the tents.
Yep, and medieval looking tents there. I like it, though not colored. Looks like the tents where you depicted the tourney scene.
Which is funny because I remember talking to George about that, and he's like they would have been just all the tents would have just been painted up in their different colors, and they would have been waving their flags and having their sigils and all that stuff.
Which is exactly how you depicted it. Looks great, right. And so all the colors. It doesn't look like you're doing that though in this one, which is come on, guys.
I think a lot of people seem to have this misconception that the medieval ages was just washed out, gray and dirty, and that I don't really know where that particular mindset comes from. But I like my fantasy, especially medieval fantasy, to be nice and colorful and vibrant.
Exactly. Well, everyone knows medieval Europe was very blue and gray. That's the entire color.
Also, just thematically, if you had all that other stuff being all gaudy and people wearing Rolexes and riding their freaking Rolls Royces and all this stuff, it contrasts so much with Dunk, who is in these muddy colors and just dull and doesn't have the money, doesn't have the flash, has old gear until he gets Steely Bait to make him some armor. One of his horses is 3 minutes from dying. It's like
that. I agree 100% with you. I think there's a bit of a missed opportunity with that.
Yeah.
Sir Duncan the Tall.
And he is tall. We've already mentioned like 6'8" or something. So Duncan,
he's 6'5", 6'6" on a good day.
I was about to ask, how tall is the actor playing him?
Yeah, but he's supposed to be 6'11".
See that? Yeah, Dunk is a giant, basically. Yeah. And there's even a plot point in the second book, right, where he comes across someone who's really tall, but Dunk is taller than him still, and that guy hates him for it.
Yeah. The long inch.
Yep. It just went out of there. Let's go back.
Never heard of him.
You know every night in the Seven Kingdoms, then?
The good ones.
And you're right. This is like they're at the fire. They're,
Yep.
That's right from the graphic novel, this one. And look, I got to say, Egg, he looks great. I mean, Egg is simpler to nail, but they're like wearing rags, bald head, and everything.
He's got his little cape.
Yep. Let's have a look at that. Mike, you just lost audio.
He's got. I was just saying he's got the little cape with a hood on right out of the book.
Yep, right out of the book.
Right.
Love it.
If you could bring me to Ashford, I could swipe you, sir.
Rob me.
So that's where he approaches him in the inn, and tries to convince him to go with him. So that's
actually earlier in the story.
It is. So this scene here is going to be in probably episode 1. We don't want to give too many spoilers.
Yeah, they're jumping back and forth. Mm. Yeah. But this is actually that scene. So Dunk walks in and he's actually wearing Sir Arlen's armor.
That's right.
This is George's favorite page in the entire series.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's brilliantly done, and it shows Egg for who he is. He's
he wants
still
to be a
child.
Yep.
I reckon they're going to have that. I reckon what we are seeing here is after he gets caught, right? But we'll find out.
If you could bring me to Ashford, I could swipe you, sir.
Rob me, and I'll hunt you down with dogs.
You don't have dogs!
I'll get some.
Where?
Oh!
Where?
Oh!
You're muted.
Already, I love it. They've depicted Dunk right now. I don't think that line is from the graphic novel. I think.
I'll hunt you down with dogs. Yeah, it is.
It is. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Right. Dunk is a great character. Okay, he's a good guy, but he's simple.
Right there.
Let's see it. There it is. I'll hunt you down with dogs.
You don't have any dogs. I'll get some. Just for you. Of course, that's he leaves Egg at the camp with his stuff.
Yeah.
Not on a bridge. So I don't know why they did that.
He needs to do something when he gets there. We will try and avoid spoilers. But the fact that they're doing Dunk correctly, right, is giving me a lot of hope for this. I'm excited for this because Dunk he's a good character. He's a good guy, but he's simple and he's always got the dunk, the lunk. Think of it as a castle wall. But is earnest and he wants to be a knight, and it's good.
Boys, stop gaping. Sit my horse.
This is from the graphic novel. Mm-hmm.
So that's that scene right there.
And so this is where they show something different because what he is wearing is different to what you showed in the graphic novel. And look,
right, he's wearing the cloak with the
Yes. Oh, the cloak is very close. Look at that. Look at the cloak he's wearing, and the cloak.
But he's wearing mail and short sleeves.
Yeah.
And not all in black.
Where what he's wearing here is something like a jupon, tabard, a tunic, and I like what you have in the graphic novel more because that
hair,
again, yeah,
that Billy Idol. I didn't know he was a Targaryen.
Well, you could the Targaryens or the bright blonde hair, they stand out.
I'm not a stable boy, my lord.
Not clever enough.
Yeah, that line is straight out of there.
Straight out. Oops, I jumped.
So how are the Targaryens normally? Are they all insane, or just a few of them are insane?
They're not all insane.
Yeah, some are actually pretty decent. And you'll get to
Baelor
find out.
Breakspear.
You'll get to find out of that in the show. Actually, you see some really good Targaryens, some really arsehole Targaryens. It's it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag.
But no, in the show is like whenever a Targaryen is born, you kind of roll a dice and see how insane they are.
That's why I think the ones that are born with less inbreeding are the cool ones, right? Like Baelor's mother, I believe, is Dornish. So that's maybe why Baelor's not a psychopath.
Almost like the inbreeding is bad or something. I shouldn't do it.
Bear him the red in the comments got me dying here.
And there's a line, I think there's a line in this book where Aerion threatens A. He's like, I'll cut your penis off and make you my sister and marry you.
Well, that's a threat.
I know I'm just a hedge.
So I don't remember the dragon puppet being this big.
No, it was. I had no idea they were going to turn the puppet show into a full sized thing. Yeah, in the book, it's just this regular, like, she's a puppet. She's a girl and she's a puppeteer. It's like, how are you controlling? It doesn't say she has this vast panoply of people, working for her. It just says she's a puppeteer. Yep. It's like, I don't see how she's puppeteering anything in this.
Yeah, and that might have an interesting implication on what someone blames her for doing later on. Because is she the one responsible for, what eventually happens, which is a crucial plot point. But I think they're just doing it because it make it look more impressive.
I mean, it looks cool, but it does look cool. How is she the puppeteer? Because she's on stage.
Yeah, and that's her, isn't it?
And that's great casting for Tansel Too Tall.
If she is tall enough, she needs to be tall.
But she's Dornish, so she should be brownish.
Yes,
and she's not ugly. She doesn't have a half-shaved head. I mean, that's already a plus.
Right? She's supposed to be a looker, and I think they've done that well with the casting here. She's an attractive.
Yeah, first of all, she looks like a woman, so that's that's already going against the grain.
Yeah, this is my Tansel. Right.
There she is here.
Before we go any further, Shad, I need to go ahead and head on out.
Yep, no worries, man.
For inviting me again. Mike, congratulations, dude. Your work is awesome as always. Lit Devil, good to see you again, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I will
you too.
see you guys next time.
Catch you, mate.
Again.
So, yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that as long as she's tall enough. That's a plot point, because they call her too tall, but she's not.
She should be. I mean, if he's 6'6", she needs to be at least 5'11", 6 feet.
At least 6 feet. I reckon more than 6 feet. And Dunk's line is like, they call her too tall, but she's not too tall for me,
Sometimes I think there could be more.
Yeah, that's Plumber right there.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure, because that's not Dondarrion.
Yeah,
it's funny because in the books he looks more like Dondarrion in the books, but I don't think he would act like that.
That's a good smile.
It is. And again, Dunk just looks perfect with his ragtag cloak. Oh, this is rare. Yeah. All right. We got colored tints right there. So, okay, they've done it right in some parts. That's good. I'm glad about that. And the checkered patterns on the shield and stuff. Like, I don't think the armor is 1-for-1 for what you designed, but in terms of the correct livery that they got on, brilliant. I'm really happy about that. And the armor also just looks great, just from a medieval perspective here.
Why do you drink?
And this looks brilliant. So good.
These royal lapdogs like they're your betters.
They are my betters.
These men.
Yeah, I'm trying to reckon. I can't really see too much because it's blurry.
And of a name.
Let's take a look here. Yeah,
the Laughing Storm. I don't like his helmet.
Yeah, his helmet's a bit different actually. But
oddly, the horse's armor is pretty spot on to the
Well, you did. That's one of the areas you did really good on, actually. The horse armor throughout the entire graphic novel is really good. I'm trying to avoid some of this spoiler.
Oh, here's that scene was the with the Chekhoi.
Yeah. There's the checkered one. And so,
Beesbury. Yeah.
Yep. Again, like you did such a good job on the armor and stuff and shields. Like I fell in love with the graphic novel when I just picked it up in in the comic book shop. It's what attracted my attention.
See, that's what he should look like. I mean, I love that they gave him the full size antlers. That
he needs the antlers, so at least they got that. But
see, I did recycle that armor from the original Dunk design, and it's not quite. It's not very realistic, but the horse armor is like the same as what they used in the thing.
Yeah. And
I love this whole scene though, like Lionel just going around chopping people's freaking sigils off their heads.
What with the crest of their helmets?
The crest, yeah.
But and the sigil is pretty close, so that as it should be. So
trading.
All right, this one.
That's the Beesburys.
Yeah, I don't know what is doing this. What is this move here? Right, I'm not happy about that. That's like, what is this garbage? Is this spin around garbage crap? Give me a break.
Trading.
You know, that I'm happy with that. Do you have a picture of this guy?
Well, he doesn't kick him through the wall, but this is the scene where
the training
fighting,
where you know, and it's calling like you're not a ripe apple or something like that.
You're not ripe yet, so that's why he later on he puts on the green apple because he said I'd rather be not ripe than rotten.
Rotten, that's right. And you can see the apple on his chest, so that's kind of there. I would have preferred him just wearing a surcoat with the sigil on. But all right, we know who this guy is. That's good.
What chance do I have? I have no chance.
Falling star brings luck to those who see it.
There's his sigil. And they even have the metal rim on his shield, it looks like. And so these are just good, like small details, which shows that they're paying attention. And I'm very happy about that. Was there something you were wanting to show?
Well, I mean, we don't have to do every single scene, but yeah, this is them like watching the falling star. And
yeah, look at that.
Oh, the luck was all mine. That's this line right here.
There it is. Makes me excited, man.
I know, right?
It's very cool.
So the luck is ours alone?
Ooh, wait for it. It's
I need a fight partner.
There's the scene.
I love
Look at that. Yeah.
I actually didn't do the lineup in the book.
But you did the charge, right?
Yeah,
so that's why
the charge is mine.
The charge is great, and the fact that I can recognize a lot of the knights in it, this is a good shot, and it just makes me hyped. Like I know what's going on here. And some of the jousting that they have filmed here looks really impressive. Like I'm gonna pause at one of these.
Sometimes I think I buried my courage along.
So that arm is a bit different. It seems like again the Targaryens seem to wear the more fantasy-esque kind of armor, and they're keeping that in line with the style that they kind of set up with House of the Dragon, like the Targaryen dragon.
Yeah, I'm just a little bummed that Baelor's wearing Darren's. Well, this is spoiler stuff, but nobody's going to remember by the time the 6th episode comes out.
Let's avoid it. Let's avoid it. We should avoid the spoilers where we can.
But okay, just the simple fact that I really wish he was wearing the freaking dragon on his head.
Yeah.
The dragon on his helm was rad.
It was.
But they do. I mean, Arryn Brightflame, he does have the flames on his helmet, so that's cool.
I love this armor. Like this armor just looks chef's kiss for medieval accuracy. Brilliant. That's great.
And in every man, there are many men.
What I'm looking forward to seeing is if they put the Night's Watch in their proper scale mail, their scale armor, scale plate,
Yes.
scale mail.
Yeah.
Because
Now,
they all wear different armor.
are you talking about the Royal Guards that wear the brighter
the
armor?
white,
The white?
yeah.
Yeah, because that's not the Night's Watch. That's the Royal Guards.
I'm sorry, not the Night's Watch, the Kingsguard.
Kingsguard. Thank you. Yeah, because I found your depiction of their armor interesting, even like this is before Game of Thrones or anything, because the scale mail jumped out at me. So here they are. I'll just full screen this. So this is.
I think one's scale mail, one's leaf mail. Is that right?
So you got the scale mail, and well, yeah, it looks like scale mail's on the
Far.
very end, and then leaf is something in the middle. And the leaf one was always one that I kind of raised an eyebrow at. But was that directly like what George said? That's supposed
if
to
I remember correctly, yeah, because they were all supposed to have different armor. Because what they're supposed to do, it's what drove me nuts in Game of Thrones is they all had like
they all have the they all have the
outfits on, right?
Mm.
And I'm like, they're supposed to like take the armor of their house or whatever they would wear, and like it gets whitened, right?
Whitened,
like they're bleached into.
I prefer that way more.
Right.
So the Kingsguard armor in Game of Thrones looks like ass. I've hated it. It improved in House of the Dragon. Still not the best. But what you're saying is that if they take their house armor and then brighten it, it's way better.
And you see it here. It's like it's white and gold. It's not just supposed to be a big gold plan, and they're not all supposed to look the same.
Well, that's way better. Just do what's in the books, people.
Right.
So again, this is the puppet, and it's like, all right, well, they've gone really far with the puppet stuff here.
Yeah, that seems completely unsafe to do inside.
Yeah, right.
So be brave.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, that's a Knight's Guard. That's a King's Guard right there.
Yes, you're right. And I'm interested. I can't really see his armor in detail. It would be great if they did it the right way this time. That it's actually different armor, but just brightened.
Yeah.
All right, look at that. Look, it's
the Beesbury. Yeah,
like,
Beesbury versus the Czech.
This impact, they cut it short, but this impact is one of the most, like, just with what we see, looks like one of the most impressive jousting impacts I've seen on screen. Look at
yeah. So I was listening. Like I said, they had this interview with the director and with George at New York Comic-Con. And they were talking about how they wanted to make, because like George was like, the best jousting scene ever put on film was in Ivanhoe, and he's like, I wanted to do better. He's like, I wanted to make it the best, the most authentic jousting scene ever put on film. And then the director's like, yeah, that wasn't a challenge or anything.
Well, that's right. Like, just what they're teasing here, this looks crazy. It's like, holy crap, that looks brilliant. And before you even said that, I literally said, this looks like some of the most impressive kind of medieval joust stuff we've seen so far. And if that was the actual direction behind it, holy.
Yeah. And you'll notice here, like the sticks break, right?
Yeah,
but they don't explode like they did in A Knight's Tale. Because I remember having this conversation with George, because I was like, yeah, I love the way they do it in The Knight's Tale. And he's like, no. He's like, that's not realistic at all. He's like, they filled those things full of straw so they would look like they exploded into 1,000 pieces.
But they can snap at multiple points, and I've seen it. Like
right,
you can, and if you can get a double snap on your lance, that's big. That's like, so it looks like they're kind of, well, look, it's there's stuff flying off like splinters, but it looks like there's main kind of breaks in the shaft.
If you compared this to The Knight's Tale, it's like,
yeah, Knight's Tale is very big, but that looks friggin' great.
Yeah, I love that.
And then, like, look, someone just got. Yeah, look at this. Someone picked. It looks like
pause. I'm trying to tell who's getting hit. Oh, is that his mace? That's not a mace.
No,
what is
he
that?
He is two-handed lance, and that is freaking awesome. He's holding a lance two-handed. That's a historical thing. I've done a video on lances that you could hold them like that, even on horseback. And so he is two-handing a lance and just knocking a guy off the horse, and the lance breaks on impact. And
yeah, I'm curious who.
I think that's the guy with beard and longish hair who was like,
I don't want to spoil who gets whatted.
Yeah, because that looks awesome.
But there's a moment here in a second, which is straight. That pause it. Go back.
Hang on.
When you're looking out of the helmet.
I went too far back.
I only did that on the cover. I didn't even do it.
So what are you referring to? You talking about this guy here?
No, the moment before that.
Jumping around.
So a moment before that where
the view from inside the helmet. Okay, we'll get there.
View from inside the helmet. Yeah.
We'll get there.
Be just.
You're right here. You're talking about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I love this.
I know that's Aryan coming, but in the book it's actually Lionel.
I got a shot because this
Where is it? Oh, for Pete's sake.
Now you've got me curious. I'm like, I want to see this.
Why can't I find this stupid thing? Oh, it was earlier. I think it was.
Hey. Yep. So that's a view from inside the visor, hey?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the earliest things I ever did completely digitally.
Really? Hey.
Yeah. I wish I had done it by pencil. Like most of my covers I did by pencil, but I did that one digitally, and then I'm like, oh wow, I could have sold that for like $2,000. Yeah, this whole end, dude.
Yeah, like we know what that's from, and that's like hell yeah.
Oh,
looks great! Look at that.
Be tall.
Oh, this is that moment when he cranks him.
Yeah.
With the,
well, that spoilers.
The mace.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they just showed it, so
they don't know that. I guess where it happens. We might be giving too much away, but I like the lines here where it's like, yeah, look at that. That's great. Love it. And I like the lines here, right? Oh, it's like, hang on.
Be tall.
Oh, we need to go back.
And in every man, there are many men. So be brave.
Be brave.
Be just. Be tall.
Beetle? Duncan the Tall. He is Sir Duncan the Tall. It's
the three virtues. Be just, be tall.
Be tall. But I like it, it's the concept of stand tall.
It looks like a Andrew Tate. It's like a be rich, be handsome, and be tall.
But I like the underlining kind of, stand tall and do what's right kind of thing. I like
this last scene, the final fight scene is going to be so
It's going to be
awesome.
Great. I'm
man,
so keen for it, mate.
I want to talk about it, but I don't want to.
Yeah,
it's like so.
Because George loves the medieval stuff so much. I have a feeling like from what you said from the Comic-Con, where he wanted the jousting to be some of the best we've seen. This could be some of the best medieval kind of combat, real medieval combat we've seen on screen, and so I'm so excited for it.
I want to find that online.
Oh, and the charge. So this is kind of like from that shot you just showed, but of course your one is tighter to hold everything in.
Right.
That is great camera work. Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Hell yes. I'm so on board for this. I'm so excited. And
I want to try to find that that part in their commentary. Where's the panel? You just keep going. I'll try to find it.
All right. Well, so I'm not sure they do this, but so much from this show is drawing inspiration from the Hedge Knight, your work, Mike. I personally think you deserve a credit on the credits of this thing. You know, I'm like,
I mean, that would be nice after being completely snubbed on the Injustice movie.
You're right,
Which
right?
I apparently storyboarded a third of the damn thing. They don't even give me a special thanks.
That's exactly right. It would be great if they just said, you know, in like art direction or something like that, inspired by, you know,
anything.
Mike Esper.
Special thanks. I'll take a special thanks, man.
It would be really nice. But unfortunately, when it comes to Hollywood and crap, they can get really like just stupid about who's.
Here's the thing, though. George is loyal.
Yeah.
Like the loyalty thing. If George can get my name on there, I could probably guarantee that he would.
Well, that's nice. The thing is, though, George might not be able to because I've got stories. So, the Judge Dredd, recent movie, right? The people, the company that owns it is Rebellion Publishing. Rebellion Publishing owns Judge Dredd, and they're the ones who did the deal to get the movie done. And Jason Kingsley is the CEO of Rebellion. He's a great guy. People might know him from the YouTube channel Modern History TV. He's a big medieval enthusiast, and I've met him. He's a great guy. And because I have Shadiversity medieval YouTube channel, we've connected and spoken and stuff through our medieval interest. But he's the head guy. He owns like effectively Judge Dredd. There's a story behind the scenes about how the Judge Dredd movie adaptation, they did not give credit to Rebellion Publishing in the credits of the film. They're not there. Right. And that was a contractual obligation they had to include Rebellion in the credits of the film, and they didn't. And if they wanted to, Rebellion could have pulled the film's release because they broke contract like that. And so I don't know why, but Hollywood are retarded when it comes to putting people on the credits and giving people correct, you know, credit and due. And this was a contractual thing that now obviously not everyone in Hollywood is like this, but I've heard stories, man. I've heard stories. What do you have here, Mike?
This is at New York Comic-Con. I think I have it queued up to the right part. So let's check.
All right.
I was looking at the illustrations and stuff, and I was like, this is the first time since I started acting where this guy actually kind of looks like me. Do you know what I mean? I can actually do this justice. So yeah, I had heard little bits, and obviously A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is the first but not last of George's books that I'm going to read, and I fell in love immediately with the Hedge Knight. It's just such a brilliant story, and I kind of had to speed read it in the auditioning process, and then when I got the role and got over all my panic attacks we were talking about, so I got to sit and really absorb it, and I just was like, this is just the most perfectly, it just runs so smoothly as you read along, and I enjoyed it. It was like one of those times, I used to always think when people are like, oh, I couldn't put a book down, and I was like, what does that feel like? Reading 20 pages is like, I'm like, yes, unreal, PlayStation. But it was
okay, I don't think this is the part, but there's a part in here where he talks about how it's like how much the armor is just like straight out of the.
I'm echoing, Mike.
Sorry, I'll turn it off.
Ready? I'll fix it. Done. Yeah, it sounded like when he was talking about reading, he's talking about the graphic novel. It sounds like, you know, that it was the graphic novel he was reading.
Sounds like it.
Yep. Okay, so look, this is really cool. I hope they actually give you some credit for the work, because they're building off of, you know, all your design, well, most of your designs, because they were really good. And I get the impression that it was probably George that told them, just look to this. If you want to know what this should look like, we got the blueprint,
right.
and it's effectively a storyboard as well for the whole thing.
Seems like quite a bit of it.
It would be nice if they give you a credit or a nod or a thanks for it. But if not, we will give you credit for it, because you did great work, and we can clearly see clearly see that this is a very direct adaptation. So I'm going to be watching this very closely as it comes out. I'll be doing content on Shadowversity. Oh, really? I have something to mention to you after the stream about that, Mike. So, but yeah, I want to cover, the armor, weapons, combat on Shadowversity, and there might be something we can hook up in terms of reviewing as well, which is going to be exciting. So let's grab the super chats and start to wrap things up. McSkittles, member for 5 months. Thank you, mate. Says the real question is, what's the best way to carry the most amount of weaponry? I've got a video on that. How many weapons can adventure logically carry? And thinking about the right questions, mate. BK for $10 says, it was awesome seeing you on Ward Radio, Shad. Hope we get more in the future. Yes, there will be. So there is a YouTube channel called Ward Radio. It's done by members of, my faith, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, where we talk about things about our religion, but also topical things in the news of what's related, as well as doctrinal things. And so I did a live stream with Ward Radio just this past week, talk about the Sword of Laban a lot, and that was a heck of a lot of fun, and going to be appearing with them in the future because I had a great time. They're great guys. And if you want to hear me talk a bit more about my faith and religion, you can check out Ward Radio and my appearance there. And I hope to appear, on their channel regularly future because I actually really like talking about my religion. But my channels aren't really focused on that subject. We will get there. I touch on it tangentially. Mike and I had a fun debate last stream about all of that. And so I don't shy away from talking about it, but of course this is a pop culture kind of focused channel. And so if you want more of my religious views and stuff, that Ward Radio and perhaps other channels that other members are running, you might see me on those. But I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate. I appreciate you.
By the way, I assume an adventurer can carry a lot of gear because I've seen some videos where a gangster with baggy pants and baggy shirt can have an entire arsenal of stuff on him.
Yeah.
And I've also seen Mad Max into the Thunderdome where he has 10,000 weapons on him that they have to confiscate. So I assume the adventurer can actually carry a lot.
Well, I try that to actually how much you can fit on you. You bet you can't. You get to a point you can't move it, but I do end up fitting on quite a lot. So you can check that out on Shadowversity. Nathan Cassidy for $19.99. Nathan, I appreciate you, mate. You are a regular. You're always there supporting us in the chat. And if you're still here, Nathan, let me know in the live chat because I want to give you, if you're open to it, I want to give you a chat mod wrench because you're a good bloke and you're a regular and you've earned that trust. And so if you're still around, let me know and I'll wrench you because that's what you deserve. And he says, one thing I noticed about the night trailer was, holy moly, a fantasy show with good dialogue that I'm not actively cringing at. From likable characters, it's hardly unique to fantasy, but this genre has been damaged by it. Yeah, all right. It's just Rings of Power and Willow, and we've had horrible things, and Wheel of Time, right? We need some good medieval fantasy content, and Night of the Seven Kingdoms looks exactly like
is Wheel of Time the one where they go, if only you've been born a girl or something like that?
So I've tried to purge it from my memory. But
Rings of Power was awful. And I tried watching Willow. It was just way too cringe.
Dude. So Nathan Cassidy, I'm adding you as a moderator, sir. Managing standard moderator. Say that. There you go, mate.
Outlander. They do that in Outlander. If only you'd have been born with a penis.
Right. And look at that, Nathan in the chat with a moderator wrench. You deserve it, sir. We appreciate you. Thank you for showing up on the streams, your support, and your super chat. Because we've got another one from Nathan.
Is that like your third moderator?
I think, a third. We don't have many. That's why we need more moderators.
What was your first moderator?
You were, yeah.
I was.
You were.
I don't think you knew how to even add a mod.
Now I've figured it out. I have learned. So Nathan Cassidy again for $4.99 says, also Hatemonger will not beat the allegations based on the last Space King promo. You're not canon.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
This is outside my reference. Is this that comical space marine guy with the big mouth on his helmet.
Yeah, that's it. Space King.
That's it. Space King.
Yeah, so they released a new little video where Hate Monger, which is like everyone's favorite because he's awesome. And he's got a little hate mace that talks to him too, because as a little friend. But he has a whole thing about saying that women are not people. They are just they create people, but they are not people. Now you wonder why Space King gave us women instead of endless boys, because they need boys to continue on living, just replace the holy globules and everything. But then like they have a female space marine come up and he just shoots her, and then she's alive, and then he goes up to her and puts a gun in her mouth and says, "You're not canon."
Because I've seen him appear on Twitter and I haven't known what
the whole third episode. They just came out third episode, and third episode's all about no girls allowed. So they kind of forsake all their quests and everything to go and blow up an entire planet, because one scientist on that planet made a female space marine, and they blow up the entire planet to make sure none of that gets anywhere, just escapes. And they go, no girls allowed.
I need to see this now. This sounds hilarious. But thank you, Nathan Cassidy. And Wasted Space for $10 says, my algic stiffer. What? Not buying it, Shad. Just admit you got put out by too much casserole during general conference. I wish it was that. Yeah, my algic encephalomyelitis. It's one of those really like wordy conditions, but it's real. You can look it up. And I unfortunately I have it, but I don't have a severe case of it. My case is kind of mild, and I also have some treatments that can help me with it, which sometimes improves it, and then sometimes I have relapses. And unfortunately, these last few weeks I've had a bit of a relapse on it. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. But thank you for the super chat. The Book of Grudges for a big 50, mate. Thank you. He says, I'm a farmer, not a planner. Farmer have to do a lot of planning. This is talking about the style of writer you are. Whether George R.R.M. or G.R.M. doesn't finish because he lost interest or because he's stuck and wrote himself into a corner, the reason is the same. It's because of a lack of discipline, you say.
I mean, that's I can't argue with that, but I just really, as a creative, I know when the juices are flowing and when the juices are dammed up, and sometimes it's just something like that. It's like,
yeah,
whatever I do, this is gonna just the end of the series is always going to be what people think.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not excusing it. I'm just understanding as a creative.
Yeah. Thank you for that big 50. And default $5 says, it looks like Dunk and the Laughing Storm have a scene talking to each other before the scene where they meet in the book. Interesting change.
Yeah, that's not in the book. So
interesting. Okay.
We're talking about pronouns and their feelings.
I hope not.
Be told. That's one thing. I'm sure the actor is going to do a bang up job, but I thought the Laughing Storm should be freaking huge.
Yeah, big guy.
Yeah.
Big guy.
It's Bam, and then they fight.
Oh my gosh, dude, Litev, if you go to my channel, Cross Examinations, I have a video I uploaded called "It Was a Tran Wreck," because I had on Friday I have open line Fridays, and this trans testicle came on, and we just argued for like about a half an hour, and it is the funniest freaking argument.
There we go.
Like, you're not a very serious person. I'm like, well, you're not a woman.
You're non-canon.
Will Dreamer for a big 50. Thank you very much. He says, Shadiversity and your novel helped inspire me to write a short story. Dude, that is awesome. Thank you. The Children of Rohan on AO3 is a tragic but deeply respectful take on the film version of Helm's Deep from the point of view of the youngest recruits. Features genuine masculinity and heroism. Dude, all right. Let me write a note of that down. So, Children of Rohan, if I can get my notes up. And it's on AO3. What's AO3? Set up the platform, is it?
Age of Empires. Oh wait, no, that's not. Alpha, Omega.
All right. I've got time. I'm going to check that out. Thank you, mate. I appreciate the support and the big chat. And we are caught up. And all right, this has been a heck of a fun stream, as usual. And as we sign out, LitDev, anything that you want to mention?
Oh, yeah, a little bit. I got some good news going on over here. Got Lady Midnight Devil's Dwell in Silent Springs almost at 10,000.
Dude, it's getting there. It's getting there.
$280 away from 10,000. I'm getting a video ready to help promote it. I think you'll like this one, Shad. I think you'll like this one.
Oh,
I'm going to do some conflict marketing with this one.
Nice.
Dude, okay. Videos, like, genuinely, videos are the place to get some of the strongest promotion that's directly to your audience. When I was trying to promote to Shadow the Conqueror, putting like a promo in each of the videos always gave it a good bump. So,
yeah.
And also I saw catching this Starry Night for $2 says AO3 is archive of our own. Thank you. I'll make a note of that. Archive of our own. But LitDev has his graphic novel going. And everyone, check it out, support it, and I'm looking forward to seeing your video, man.
I think you'll like it. It's going to be a long one, but I think everyone will enjoy it.
Oh, good stuff. And Mike, anything you want to mention?
I forgot. I was going to show the 3D. Hold on. I've been playing with Grok.
Oh, yeah.
Turning my book into a video. Hold on. Let me get the latest. I'm gonna get the latest one. I'm gonna do the first one, and then the latest one. The first one. Actually, let me do the latest one first.
So
can I open this in another screen? I don't want to have other private stuff on here. So
you're talking about this. Oh, shoot.
That's the first one. Although that is the first. That may or may not be the first adaptation of it. Yeah, play that through. Play that through. So I'm getting better at it. But this is your comic book.
Look at that.
Yeah. And you could never do this before.
No.
Because it is my illustrations being animated.
Yep.
In times past, you either had to dumb down all of the art or you had to create a 3D model, which wasn't really your art.
You would need a complete, a full animation studio to do this, right? And
you couldn't. Again, you couldn't do that level of detail.
Not this level of detail. Yeah, like when you say dumb down, they'd have to simplify it. Where this maintains the gradient coloring from the original artwork and animates it, which is insane.
Yeah,
this is so damn. Like, look at this. Look at this. This is so damn cool. And this is a level of animation again that would have taken too much work to maintain the gradient coloring.
It would be impossible. It would be
like, this is crazy. Now look, like running over. There's
I know everybody mentions that. I edited it.
But the fact that it can do this, right? Where do you think it's going to be in another year? You know, like this is
this latest Rock update is just bananas, and
this is so cool.
Right. And even if you're like, oh gosh, you didn't get the logo right, even if you'd like took all this and you went through and you just edited stuff, it would be it's game changing, it's world changing. I mean, anyone can take their comic book
and animate it now.
Yeah, and I obviously this is just like, you know, phone screen size comic book page, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you could do this full on, you know, give me $50,000. I'll turn my entire graphic novel into a full-on freaking cartoon. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. Like, you don't need many resources to kind of just get it there now. This takes you so far that with a bit of like time and additional money, like that looks great. That was friggin' awesome.
Yeah, and that's from the whole page. So, DZ3 says, "Is this AI? It looks good, but it looks odd still." I did all of this, and this is only 2 minutes of it. I've got 6 minutes of this that I did in the last 3 days while I was just sitting in the hospital waiting for my grandson to be born. So this isn't me trying to produce a professional level thing. I'm just showing you how much these tools can do.
Look at
just half-assing.
And to let people know, this is Mike's original art. He drew, from his graphic novel using AI to animate it. So this is the combination of AI and human talent. Like people think, oh, AI was going to replace. You use them in conjunction. AI can.
You think this cuffs me? I'll be out in 24 hours. Esse. You ain't got nothing on me.
Look at that, like that. So that's Grok doing the audio, lip syncing there. That's crazy.
Yeah, but even with this and the terrible audio, it's like you can have an actor.
You can have and replace that, and that the lips are now already synced to it, right?
Yeah.
And again, this is like comic book level illustration being animated. This is so much more detailed than traditional animation. This is a huge step up. Again, it's not perfect. Like, and I know people like kind of looks janky here and there, but this is showing where things can go. And you're saying you've done even more of this,
Yeah, I'm going to show you the last thing I've done here, which actually has audio. I love this. This was a horizontal shot, and I had him zoom in and then pan the shot.
Like, look at this. So, like, again, this is Mike's art coming to life. And compare this to like old school animation. You don't get any of these detailed line work in old school animation, right? Because it's too difficult. But look at that. Like, that is crazy.
I actually dig the slow motion where they chop the frames, so it's like it's like that's so cool.
That is really
all right. Let me show you where we're at though, because like I said, I'm getting better.
Yeah. Because that's some people don't realize that it takes.
Oh wait, did I do the audio? Hold on. That share entire screen audio and again, not perfect, but I'm blowing through this. I'm just going to play it all the way through. You're not going to get a copyright strike. It's mine.
Yeah.
That time of the night again, Bob? Duty calls. Ops meeting 0400. Don't forget. Oh,
this part's kind of.
You know.
I'll be there with bells on, Jim.
Table 3 needs more fries, Charlie.
You got it, Angel.
Well, you gonna order something, Flyboy? Or are you just here for the view? You've been coming here for 6 months, every night, gawking at me.
Well, I wouldn't say gawking.
Nah, gawking works.
Maybe I just really like the coffee here.
6 months today, Bobby. Happy anniversary. Walk a girl home?
Wild horses couldn't tear me away.
Okay. People might think that's jarring, but that's because Grok has a different audio track that in the background, right?
Yeah.
Like if you redid the audio, that would actually feel far more seamless, like it's a continuing scene.
Yeah. Also, this is just today I started using what is it on your iMovie? I started using iMovie, so like this is just cut.
Yeah.
There's no blends, there's no fades, there's no.
Yeah,
and the stuff I'm doing on iMovie, adding that to it really smooths it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the audio is different, all the things, but you'd have to relay the whole track.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just I'm just having so much fun, dude. Watching
this shows you the potential, man. This is. Like,
I'm gonna tell you something. This is kind of gonna sound weird because you haven't seen the particular scene that I'm talking about. I don't think I even have it on here, but oh wait. All right,
play this one. Play this one.
Sorry I'm late, boys. Did I miss anything?
So this is obviously
Looks like Bobby got a little love peck tonight.
How about a little kiss and tell?
A gentleman never will. Hey, Jefe, how about you give Angel a 10-minute love peck from me, eh? What piece of Jefe,
Lightsaber?
come and get it. Anytime, hothead. Peace. Be still.
It does actually kind of remind me of those old cartoons.
What would we do without you, Brando?
The rotoscope.
Yeah. But it's what's weird about it is I love the characters Angel and Bob in this story. To me, they're Lit Devil agree with me here that's my favorite part is their love story in the story. It's like, oh, he's got the heart ring. What is that? Well, who is it? Twitless said, oh, Mike's power, he has the heart ring.
The heart ring.
Yeah, but it's the weirdest thing is when you're playing these characters together and they she gives him a kiss on the cheek for the first time. I feel like a parent, like watching my creations like come to life and like interact with each other. It's so weird. It's like I've never, other than like actually being a parent.
That's a similar feeling that I got when I started using AI in being able to bring my characters to greater detail and make them look so much better than I could ever do on my own. And you get that feeling like there is a sense of artistic expression and satisfaction you get out of this.
Yeah, but this is another weird, when you get to the point where you're having characters in a relationship that you've created and you love this relationship, and then you watch that relationship being real, not real, but actively doing things, and it's like it's so weird. It is weird, but it's amazing.
Lit-Dev, you got something you want to share?
Oh yeah. So in this campaign for Lady Midnight, I'm also offering the painting, the original painting. I have one original art tier, and it's the painting for that was the inspiration for the cover. That's also up there, and I took a little picture of it, so you know how about the size that it is. It's pretty good. It's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome.
Nice. And for me, people know where I am. I got a fun video on Shadiversity. Try and explore if you can shoot an arrow while holding a sword and a shield at the same time. It's a fun, goofy one that's out on the channel. And of course, we got the Culture Crusade here. So look, thank you everyone for showing up. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.
Hold on. Join my channel, Blacklist Universe. I think we'll probably do like the Hedge Night this week on Drawing Court.
Ooh, hey, hell yes. All right, check that out. And thank you everyone. We'll see you next time. And as always, stay on watch.